right?
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. Is yeah, definitely making sure you have the right person that you can count on to talk to in those situations. And even like Alice said, it's okay if you don't find the right therapist the first time around. Just if you have to leave, that therapist and move on to a different therapist, that's definitely what you need to do because you don't want to just keep going to somebody that's not helping you on your journey. They're just kind of there just to get paid, basically. It's like we're not like, yeah, you are probably getting paid, but it's like we want you to get paid to help us through our journey and to help us improve in this area or find ways to overcome these obstacles that we may face or any kind of mental health issue that we have. So that's definitely important. And I know and Tasha mentioned a really good point two is, she mentioned where she goes. So as maybe even looking in your area, at some therapists or even like Tasha also said, like if you're going to school, like a guidance counselor, there's definitely like options in every age and stage of life. Like so you can find counseling, you can find Christian counselors even in the church, certain churches, most churches I'm sure you can. The workplace, I'm sure, offers some therapy, like sessions. I know my company does. I haven't used it because personally for me, I've never been to a therapy session. I mainly kind of talk to family members about it, and I guess that's kind of how I deal with if I ever have a mental health like obstacle, I guess I go to my family. And then of course, going to God, of course, is very important too. And, going to his word. And because I think I've heard this before that like the words like or the phrase like do not worry or like do not fear is like mentioned like over 300 times in the Bible. So it just shows us like the word is definitely a good reminder to give us that reminder of do not fear, do not or the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. There's so many like encouraging verses in there. So definitely, go to God, go to the Word, go to His Word. That's how He speaks to our hearts, and go to people that you can trust, whether it's someone in your family or like we've mentioned before, if a therapist, even if it's not the first therapist that you meet, a counselor, guidance counselor, a pastor, a youth pastor, whoever you can fully trust in. That's definitely very important. So I think yeah, y'all both definitely brought up some really good points regarding what to do in those situations. But before any of that, I feel like definitely, and I feel like this is probably an obvious thing, but I'm just going to mention it anyways. But I think the first thing is like having a self-awareness that like you do need help or like and with your mental health battle not going to see a therapist because someone told you to and you're just going to just give it a just wing it and just give it a shot, but it's more of you're going because you really 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 want to make a change in that area because you don't want to be paying somebody for no reason, so or paying somebody just to satisfy somebody else that you went to therapy or that you went to counseling just so just so you can shut that person up, because they keep telling you go here, go here, go here, like go to therapy, and and if you're just doing that just to get somebody to be quiet about it, then you're going for the wrong reasons. And hopefully, even in that situation, maybe your mental health, maybe you'll have um, a, a realization that you do need, help during that journey. So it's definitely good. So, before we end this episode, do either of y'all have like maybe some final thoughts regarding mental health?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna just kind of repeat my mental health journey definitely did start on somebody forcing me to therapy. Because I think I would refuse help, any good advice, any of this. So it was like had a suicide attempt, and then my family was like, "Okay, just go to him, just text me, okay, that you went to him." And it was like, "Okay, fine." And then I've been seeing him, and a good sign of a good counselor is that they don't force you. because you can't force anything on anybody. So this counselor I've been seeing for like the past 6 years, he never forced anything on me. He would just like, if he wants help, I would give it to him. But for like 4 years, I didn't want the help. So he was like, I guess I'm just gonna be the listening ear that he needs right now, because he never once forced any homework on me unless I asked for it. And that's always, so I would say the good sign of a counselor is that they don't force things on you. I mean, yeah. So yes, I was forced into therapy, but look who I am now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, I like that. That it's even in that situation where even if you were forced into, getting into therapy, eventually it got to where, I guess you were the therapist was more than just a listening ear. They were actually there to help you through your journey, and especially in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's definitely good, and I hope that's definitely a very big encouragement to people out there. And it's definitely both hearing both of your stories and the mental health journeys that y'all both have been on has definitely been uh inspirational, to me, and it's definitely been very encouraging to hear these stories because everybody goes through different journeys in life. And I guess like a final thought that I want to say is kind of in relation to church again, like as far as the body of believers and Christ followers. As I guess what I want to say right quick is when it comes to like depression, definitely is a struggle, and not that this is like everybody has a different journey other than depression. But like when it comes to the church, there are topics that I feel like the church can talk about easier about, or can bring up within their sermons and within communication within the church, such as like dealing with like alcoholism and drugs and even lust or fear. There's those topics that I feel like that are easier to talk about, but when mental health kind of gets thrown into the mix, people have a harder time with that. So I guess maybe my challenge for me and for any believer is just be in the hands and feet of Jesus. Like Jesus went to those that were brokenhearted. He went to those that had lost somebody, a loved one. And we're here to serve others in that way. I mean, he washed the people's feet. We're not asking people to start washing people's feet, but I am asking in the sense of, let's be the church out there. Let's serve these people with love, and be compassionate towards people, because one day we will go through that challenge. Like I may have not have lost a close loved one yet, but one day I will, and I'm going to want to have a support system behind me to be there with me on that journey, instead of you know having this attitude of like, oh, like, why are you bringing these problems to the church? I don't want to have that attitude. I don't want anybody to have that attitude. So just let's just be the church, people. That's all we got to do. And I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode. I know it was definitely a little bit more of an intense conversation, but I definitely really enjoyed getting to hear both Alex and Tasha's story on their journey with mental health. And I definitely look forward to having both of y'all back on my podcast episode. And I once again want to thank you both for sharing your stories, and I enjoyed having you both on here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, everybody, if you were watching this on YouTube, definitely please subscribe to my channel at Not Your Average Joel. I definitely, you're more than welcome to comment on there or like my video if you have anything to say regarding mental health, or even if you're just listening to these episodes on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of those podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to communicate with me in any way, definitely you can reach out to. You can either go to my YouTube and comment there, or you can even message me on my Instagram page at Not Your Average Joel. So once again, I want to thank everybody for being here, And I look forward to seeing everybody on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. So I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye. All right.